The first question that I want to ask you is, now you already know a little bit about Indonesian lifestyle that I already sent you briefly. Is it really similar to yours personally?
Um, I cannot really, how do I say it? It's of course really be different from Singapore and Indonesia, since we can say like Singapore is basically a small city.
Mm-hmm.
How do I say it? Like it's different from Indonesia. Indonesia have like tons of islands and everything, but like
Oh,
for Singapore, it's only have like one city, and like Indonesia have different cultures and they have their own different lifestyle and everything. So I believe it should be different by like almost every single aspect.
oh, I see. Okay. Now, speaking of which, uh, is it uh, which one do you prefer? Like, it's different, right, from Indonesia to Singapore? Which one do you really prefer? Now that I sent you the brief explanation, uh, do you want an Indonesian lifestyle, or are you comfortable with your own lifestyle?
I cannot actually say which one is better. I mean, I probably been living for a long time rather than Indonesia, right?
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I never haven't been to a long time spending time in Indonesia, but mostly I think I actually do kind of like Indonesian lifestyle because the people are more friendly. The people are more feeling like they're family to each other and everything. Since like there are some of the cities that are pretty small, and those cities that sometimes are small are have more chance of having close to each other, have more relative, and like even though they're not from the same family, they still thought they are the same brothers or sister and everything. I mean, through kind of like bonding through like relationships and everything. So I think it's pretty cool since I think like in Singapore, mostly people are living in like metropolitan city, which is it's like everything is huge. There's no like tradition. There's like rarely traditional
Oh,
activities there. So that is one of the thing that I think, one of the thing that I thought is pretty much affecting the lifestyle of people in Singapore.
okay. Now, so you mentioned that it is very different, right? Is there any
Mm.
major differences between Indonesian and your homeland lifestyle? Like, for example, like in Indonesia here, entertainment is really big, right? So is there any
Mm.
major differences that define Indonesian and Singapore?
Um, One thing that I can probably say the major different lifestyle that I can see clearly, it's how people wear their clothes. Mostly in Indonesia, a lot of people like wear like really casual clothes. Like everything looks so simple. It doesn't like. But I think in mostly in Singapore, people wear like really expensive. I don't know how I say it. Like
Oh,
since like every part of the city is like so like high tech and like all the
I
tall
see.
buildings and everything like
They're really
and
big
like
on they're really big on fashion style.
yeah, I can say it like that because I mean I'm not saying like Indonesia doesn't have a really I mean of course every country have their struggle on their economy, but I think from what I see Indonesia not every in Indonesia the economy is not like fairly separated to everyone. There are some people that have struggle with their money, there are some people that having a lot of money, so you can see the difference. But I think that is what makes people more having social care for each other. That is what I like because basically in probably in Singapore there's like a lot of social like how do I say like social how do I say, like social levels, how do I say it,
Yeah,
like there's
like
there's those people that are like rich and those people that are like
yeah, there's
having
suburban,
struggle with their money, yeah, suburban or
suburbans,
like the
and all that stuff. Yeah.
but I think in Indonesia there's of course there's gonna be still those things in every country, but I think in Indonesia people are more care with each other, so there's no like social levels or anything. People are still caring for each other. So I think it's some probably differences that I can see from two of those countries.
Okay. So now, do you wish to change or add something to your lifestyle? Like, if you have already your own lifestyle, do you wish add something or change something?
Um, I really wish that my lifestyle have more traditional lifestyle in it, because the most things that I see is already modern lifestyle. It's how the city changes already. I mean, I can already see, since like Singapore is a pretty small city,
Uh-huh.
and like you can see how the government is actually try to modernize everything, so I cannot really actually see tons of traditional lifestyle. It's like slowly disappearing from, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but for me myself, I sometimes prefer a little bit, or like at least half of traditional is still being kept, and being, how do I say it, like people still see it as a uh precious like a asset to the country. Because for me, what I see in Indonesia, there's a lot of traditional stuff, they still
Yeah.
keep it. Like there's like old temples, there's like people that living in the countryside, they're still doing the traditionals and everything. That is what I can see, which is really interesting for me.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you think that Indonesia should change their lifestyle? Like, is there something that you didn't like or something?
Actually, there is one. I mean, I'm not trying to judge
It's okay.
the people from
It's
Indonesia.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's your own opinion. It's all right.
So from what I see, like, in Singapore, people are so care about the environment. If you
Mm-hmm.
throw a trash in the street, you will get a lot of deeds, or like you get a lot of how do I say it? You will get
Charges.
fined by, yeah, you get charges by the government and everything. So that's why, like in Singapore, like the places are so clean and everything, like almost there's no trashes. But when I come to Indonesia, the first time I come, it's like so weird, and
Yeah,
like
it's
there's like a lot of, yeah.
a lot of stuff, a
So
lot of trash. So
I don't
yeah,
know. It's a, yeah. I mean, it's probably because I was once said like, yeah, the government rules are not that strict, but I'm still, yeah. I mean, it's probably some countries also have problem with the trash and everything with their environment. But yeah, I think if there's one thing that Indonesians should be able to change is they will be able to address or motivate it to not throw the trash anymore, because like trash is one of the biggest problem in the world right now. And I think if Indonesia can able to change the lifestyle and the mindset of people just throwing trash like everywhere, it's okay, there will be people to pick it up for you, if you know what I mean. Like when you throw the trash can away like everywhere, oh, there's like these guys who will clean it up for you. But if everyone thinks of that, then imagine like the whole Indonesia or like the whole world thinks like that, then it's probably gonna be worse.
yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. So in Indonesia, it's the mindset is really it's really low, I should say. Like, and also the government also play a big role to that, all the regulations and all that stuff. So you mentioned that in Singapore you get charges for throwing trash, but in Indonesia it's really hit or miss. It's not really enforced, I'd say. So yeah, it's really a big thing. So now I think that's it. So
Oh,
I
okay.
gave you 5 questions. So thank you so much for participating uh, for my final project. So yeah, thank you very much. Now, shall we get into the questions? I'll ask you a couple of questions. It's only 5 actually. So shall we begin now? Okay, now
Yes.
the first question. Now you know a little bit about Indonesian lifestyle briefly that I sent you. Is it really similar to yours, like personally?
Mm. In a way, it is. We also keep the tradition of being warm and friendly towards other people. That is something that we value. We
Mm-hmm.
have some sort of warmness in our households. But the recent crisis in our country, the recent economic crisis, has made us be more conservative on what we offer to strangers. Like instead of offering lunch or offering a plate of food, we will offer like, oh, do you want to chat or do you want to stay in the home? Something like that.
Oh,
Something more simple. So we have that value in ourselves in the deep core.
okay.
In the senses of valuing our traditions, I do not think that as a country we value our traditions that much, like at least the Asian ones. That is more for the native kind of people. But we do know about our patriotic figures. In fact, Simon Bolivar, one of our greatest figures, is one that helped liberate most of Latin America, most of South America. In fact, if you ever heard about the Great Colombia back in the 18th century, that was on him. That was on the movement that started in Venezuela.
Oh,
So
I
we
see.
know about that. We keep
Okay.
our patriotic figures as a big part of our history.
Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, quite interesting. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
now, I mean, it's really similar, you say, right? But it's also quite different. Which What do you think, which one do you prefer? Like, is it better in Indonesia, or is it better to yours? Which one do you prefer?
Mm. I won't really prefer any of the two since I'm not that familiar with Indonesia. I cannot give a hard response about it because
Mm-hmm.
I feel that will be taking a shot in the dark, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the element in which you keep your traditions close at heart and you keep the friendliness towards strangers. I feel that's a pretty good characteristic of the culture that I can really get to appreciate, as well as the entertainment factor. Like, sure, in Venezuela, we have some appreciation for entertainment, but I don't feel it is as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Same with health, at least in health, we're similar. We're not that hard into health, but if anything, I will go at least to know Indonesia because I feel it's interesting to meet another kind of country, another kind of culture, no matter what it is.
Okay. 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 Now, uh, so you've laid out all the traditions or all the lifestyles of Venezuela. So, is there any major differences between Indonesia and your homeland lifestyle? Like major one?
Mm. I feel I feel it does, but if I had to put a major factor that can divide part of our cultures in terms of our lifestyles, will be again, I'm sorry that I mention it again because it is an important part of our current status.
Uh
It
huh.
will be the economic and the social economic crisis that our country is facing. Like it's not like any other country in the world where you can be like, okay, I got sick, I can go to the pharmacy and see if buy the medicine. No, you have to be lucky and you have to have a good amount of money to get set medicines. Same
Okay.
goes with the food, same goes with a lot of our stuff.
Okay.
Like I feel something that maybe share in both countries, but again, I don't know that much about Indonesia. Will be the fact that we can laugh in the face of our adversities, and that has been a major factor of how we are still here. Like I feel Venezuela is pretty different from other countries just in the fact of these prices. Like we have
Okay.
cases with the gasoline where we have to make day long lines
Mm-hmm.
just to get 1 liter, 1 gallon of gasoline. It is
Okay.
something that is absolutely insane.
Okay.
But I feel that is some major difference that comes with that. And also the example of the hospitality and how it has to be more conservative throughout the years compared to Indonesia, where I feel by the little that I know that you can keep that in the same in the same spot that you wish to have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, next question is: do you wish to change or add something to your lifestyle? Like, if you have a chance, what would you add, or would you change?
Well, it depends. The question will be if I will take something from Indonesia to Venezuela or if I will add something to my lifestyle.
It's more like to you, to your lifestyle. Like, add something. Is there anything that you hate about your lifestyle that you want to change it, or are you fine with it?
Well, it will be the pretty obvious case of erasing the current situation that my country has
Yeah.
because it is pretty hard. At least I'm one lucky case where I can still live, I can still have Wi-Fi, I can still eat.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people that have been facing a lot of hardship and a lot of challenges because of this situation. Hell, in fact, even I had to face some challenges. I had to go to the gas lines. I had to be wondering what I will have to eat the next day. It is just something insane. If you look deep into it, and if our conversation could extend pretty far out besides of this, you will basically look at a whole new world, and not in the good kind of way. But like
Okay,
to
I see.
sum your question, I will tell you if this situation will be resolved.
Okay, I see. Okay. Now the last question is: do you think that Indonesia should change their lifestyle? Do you think that we should change our lifestyle, like based on your knowledge, even though it's very little? But do you should do, do you think that we should change it?
Well, by what you told me, by what you teach to me about the Indonesian culture, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that the field of medicine is something that should really be invested into, especially in this situation. In
Oh.
this situation, is something that really shines when a country has a good emphasis on the medicine part of it and the medicine part of things. Because at the end of the day, in situations like this, and in any situation, the medical field will always be there to try to fix the situation, to try to keep everyone alive and healthy. So if I had to change something from the Indonesian culture in the latest spots that I know, it will be much more emphasis on health.
Okay, I see. Okay, so thank you very much, for your contribution, for
For giving me this
for
opportunity.
participating my final project. So I think that's it. That is all.